Did you know that a recent study from the University of Cincinnati's College of Medicine found that wrapping tefillin every morning can prevent a heart attack? It's true. The headline from UC's website reads this, quote, "Research shows benefits from Jewish tradition." Now, I could have told you that after my first year of rabbinical school, that research shows benefit from Jewish tradition. Here's the full title from their website. Research shows benefit from Jewish tradition. Study shows expanded cardiovascular benefits wearing tefillin around the arm for both men and women. They must have studied our morning minyan service here at B'nai Yeshurun with tefillin wearers of all ages and stages, including many into their 90s and 100s, our proud Sanitarian millionaires. Well, I have a story to tell you. It was a Tuesday morning, not much different than any other Tuesday, except what was different that I wasn't feeling quite right. I was up most of the night with throbbing and burning arm pain in my left arm for many hours. Obviously, I didn't listen to all those commercials that talked about arm pain means call 911, but eventually subsided. I woke early for minyan at shul. I wrapped my tefillin on my arm. I recited prayers for healing for our congregation, all the while still not feeling that benefit that the University of Cincinnati promised. Followed by not one but two meetings at the synagogue, and then a drive to the mikveh in Cleveland Heights to welcome a new Jew by choice, a wonderful young man who converted and immersed in the renewing waters of the mikveh. I had made an appointment at urgent care, so I drove straight from that spiritual high, a Hineni moment, like Abraham and Moses, Sarah and Miriam. Hineni, here I am, welcoming and blessing a new Jew straight to the urgent care, where you usually have to wait a long time. Maybe you've been to an urgent care before. They took an immediate look at me with a look like something was wrong, maybe because I'd taken my tefillin off. And at that point, I had my own Hineni moment with immense gratitude for the doctors, nurses, techs, and hospital staff at Ahuja. They confirmed to me that night that I had what they called a cardiac incident. By the next morning, my catheterization was finished, and still on the table, the surgeon pulled over a large monitor to me, revealing images of my heart and its surrounding vessels. It finally hit me, shocked, that I had a heart attack that previous night, and that Baruch Hashem, I survived and thankfully was alive. The surgical team repaired my fully blocked artery with a stent. At that moment, I realized that I was no longer the healthy 49-year-old with no prior issues. Starting now, I would have to make a life change, recreate myself, build myself up again, because I want to live longer and won't continue to take my life for granted. And don't we all want that? To be written into the book of life, to make the most of our lives each and every day. To be honest, I don't yet fully comprehend the lessons that I've learned from a heart attack less than 3 weeks ago. But I can certainly say that it was a tekiah moment, a wake-up call, a time for cheshbon and nefesh, my own soul searching, that we are all instructed to look at during these days, to look at our lives, our priorities, our actions, our mistakes, our inactions, to review our interactions, words spoken, and words that we should have said but didn't. Rosh Hashanah is our personal wake-up call, with the rousing blast of the shofar, which we'll have to wait until tomorrow to hear, urging us to look at our lives anew, as if we have been given the opportunity to begin again, to live, as we engage in this process of tshuva, self-reflection. Today truly is the day for new beginnings, the day to rechart the path of our lives, recenter, prioritize, and evaluate who we are, where we are going, and who truly we are meant to be. What I did learn is that it is sometimes hard to listen to ourselves. Perhaps today when Shabbat and Rosh Hashanah coincide and the shofar is silent, we don't need to hear the loud blast of the horn because our tekiah moment, our wake-up call, isn't always loud and clear. We have to listen for those voices we haven't heard or paid attention to, for they may be the ones we most desperately need to hear and to whom we must urgently respond. And today I also have learned the hard way that we have to listen to our own inner shofar, which are quietly reminding us who we are, who we're meant to be, and help guide us on the proper path in life. In our traditional Pirkei Avot, in the second chapter, the Mishnah's book on ethics, translated as Wisdom of the Sages, the entire chapter attempts to answer this question posed by Rabbi Yehuda Nasi. Ezo hi derech yeshara sheyavor lo hadam. What is the proper path that a person should choose for their lives? For many years, I've been reading about something called the blue zones, considered the healthiest locations in the world, where people have incredibly long longevity, happiness, and satisfaction in their lives. The places on the planet where there are the most 90 and 100-year-olds living in concentration. Dan Butner has been studying them for National Geographic and just released the new Netflix series called Live to 100, Secrets of the Blue Zone, studying Okinawa, Sardinia, Nicoya, Costa Rica, and other isolated and not so isolated locales. He has identified 9 commonalities that might teach us how to be written into the book of life, to live longer and better, focusing on healthy diets, movement, community, finding purpose, downshifting, the power of belonging, and giving back. Maybe we can be the next blue zone, or maybe better yet, blue and white zone here at B'nai Yeshurun. May we all aspire to live to 120, as we say, ad mea ve'esrim, 120, or at least we can learn how to be written into that book of life so that we make each and every day count. If you remember that title from the medical school study, research shows benefit from Jewish tradition. Now, I'm not a doctor, but I want to suggest that we can all learn how to practice heart-healthy Judaism, what I want to call the Lave effect. Like the secret of the blue zone's longevity and the need to downshift, Shabbat is our weekly reminder to rest and work on ourselves, to become a better person, to build relationships and be in community. My bookshelf is filled with about 50 books about Shabbat. They're all different titles. Shabbat, a day apart. Shabbat, a day to recreate yourself. And that one I want to take a quote from, written by the founder of the Shabbos Project, a goal to have the entire world celebrate Shabbat on the same weekend, one weekend a year. Rabbi Dr. Warren Goldstein, the chief rabbi of South Africa, writes this: to survive and thrive in our world, we have a lot to do. Amid the turbulence of a divisive society and relentless pressure of our lives, Shabbat gives us the time and the space we need to breathe, to create ourselves, to build the inner world, to strengthen our faith, to nurture our families, and find meaning and purpose to create a better quality of life. We each need time to build into our schedules so that we can breathe and downshift, to make space in our stressful and busy life for ourselves, for our family, and our community with our ancient weekly respite of Shabbat, our sanctuary in time. So I'm going to see all of you next Saturday, right? Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai asks his 5 disciples that same question posed by the Mishnah. What is the proper path to choose? And not surprisingly, the 5 students, who of course are all Jewish, give 5 different answers back. The first answer is the best way to live requires having an ayin tova, a good eye. We should see the good in every single person. The rabbis advise living a life where we are all satisfied with our lives, never looking over our shoulder, never looking on social media, being jealous of anyone else's success. The second answer is to be a chaver tov, a good friend. The third, shachen tov, a good neighbor, volunteering and giving back in our community. We all know that there is a loneliness epidemic here in America and in our society. And like the blue zones in our Jewish tradition, we must be a part of our community, active, engaged, and in doing that, it truly adds meaning and longevity into our lives and be written into that book of life together. From the incredible outpouring of support, messages, prayers, and care packages that we have received from our village these last few weeks, from our community, from so many of you, I have definitely experienced firsthand the value of being part of something larger. That when we care for each other, we are stronger together, and we strengthen and help heal each other as if our hearts are beating in sync. The fourth answer from the student is haro'eh et hanolad. This is not so easy to translate. One option is having the ability to see what the future will bring so we can anticipate the needs of others. A second meaning is being able to see the future consequences of our own decisions. This summer, I finally made it into the Hall of Fame. I mean that I finally visited Canton's Pro Football Hall after being here for 22 years. And I learned something interesting. Did you know that the forward pass in football, which is probably the most iconic and game-changing play in today's game, is a relatively new innovation? For years, it was actually illegal for a football player to throw the ball forward, and first only used in a professional game in nearby Massillon, Ohio. Players had to toss the ball backwards or only lateral sideways in order to move the ball forward. That made scoring very difficult. Our goal in life, most certainly, is forward progress. And we may not always be, insert one of the last 30 Browns quarterbacks' names here. Brady Quinn? I don't know. But Rosh Hashanah teaches us that we must aim high and deep, as a good quarterback would do. We need to anticipate the play and the consequences of our choices in order to score each day and to be written into the book of life. I have one suggestion of a Hail Mary, or better yet, a deep pass to make this year. Why don't you join me and Rabbi Foster on our Israel trip this June? We believe that God brought each of us into this world for a specific purpose, and that only we are able to accomplish it. The key to happy and healthy longevity for Okinawans, according to Dan Butner, is ikigai. Ikigai means in Japanese, living with purpose, or better, the reason for which we wake up in the morning. It is the intersection of what we love, what we're good at, and what the world needs from us. Purpose-imbued lives provide responsibility and motivation so that we can live our best lives and be written into the book of life. Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sachs of blessed memory writes, Viktor Frankl used to say, if we believe we are here for a reason, then there is a tikkun, a mending, a repair that only we can perform, a fragment of light that only we can redeem, an act of kindness or courage or generosity or hospitality, even a word of encouragement or just a smile, only we can perform that in this world, and that's what the world needs from us. On Rosh Hashanah, we are each asked, what is our ikigai? What is our purpose? And finally, the fifth student answers, Lev Tov, that we should strive to live with a good heart. My cardiologists say the same thing, by the way. But for the rabbi, that meant living with integrity and with kindness. The Mishra responds that there is indeed one preferred path of all those five answers, and it is the final one, Lev Tov, a good heart. For all are included in it because it promotes a healthy and positive outlook on life. Living the Lev effect, or as the title of University of Cincinnati study says, research shows benefits from Jewish tradition, is indeed true. On Rosh Hashanah, we blow 100 blasts of the shofar, and we most certainly will be doing that tomorrow. But we're also instructed that today and every day, we are supposed to recite 100 blessings to share our gratitude. Can we really say thank you 100 times each day? Do you do that? Have you ever counted? I don't know. The Talmud answers this way. Maybe you're not able to say 100 blessings and 100 thank yous each day. So this is what you should do. If you can't say all those blessings, then focus on saying at least one every single day. So what is your one single blessing that you are focusing on this year? Mine is that I'm here. I'm alive. Grateful to be here. With immense gratitude and humility, with joy and appreciation, thank you for all the support and prayers you've given to me and my family. Thank you to my clergy colleagues, our B'nai Assurance staff, Scott and our leadership, our family, friends, and each and every one of you. This year, may we all live the Lev effect. May we strengthen our hearts so that they continue to beat together in health and in happiness. Shabbat Shalom and Shana Tova. May this year be filled with sweetness, happiness, inspiration, meaning let's move that ball forward and have a healthy, wonderful year. Shana Tova.